The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, this is Student Shit Podcast with Rosalyn and Gee, but Rosalyn needs 5 minutes to contact her, so right now it's me and Gee for the time being until we get Rosalyn on the line. Gee, what's up? Not much. I watched Raw last night. Not bad show.
Actually, I think halfway through it. I think the highlights of them already seeing those Randy Orton and Charlotte. I think were the highlights of the show. So.
Yeah, I still gotta watch NXT. Still gotta watch NXT tonight. I watched that tonight. That in AEW, because obviously Charlotte is gonna give her response to Rhea Ripley. Well, she gave it, should I say, already, and it's probably out there, spoilers out there already about that. But
I think it's smart. I think it's a smart move.
I love it. I told you. I texted you 2 weeks ago when it was rumored as the direction they're going in. Smart, because what's happening now. First of all, I think Paul Heyman's influence is really heavy now on this because, we have what now? I want to say at least 10 to 15 characters change from face to heel, vice versa, since last summer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously a response to shaking up things because things were stale. When I started watching last June, people will tell me it's as stale as it's been in a very long time. And they moved Kevin Owens from heel to face, and whatnot, and a bunch of other guys. Elias was a heel, not a face.
I will say I really miss Kevin Owens as a heel, though.
I do too, actually. I actually loved as a heel, and I miss Kevin Owens' show for the record.
He's a lot funnier.
Yeah, I miss the Kevin Owens show too, especially. Kevin Owens should be.
I'm kind of getting tired of his feud with Seth Rollins too.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, I asked you to say it. Kevin Owens should be a tweener of anything, not so much as a heel or full-blown face. He should be a tweener.
I actually think he should be a heel with a belt, Intercontinental, USA. Like he should be a heel like that. When he used to have the belt, I thought he was great on the mic. His humor works better as a heel.
Right now. And the
fans love him regardless. He's a great athlete.
Do you care about spoilers?
No, I don't care.
Okay, so you know who won the match, between the 3-way match to face Brock for the title at Super Showdown, right?
No.
Ricochet did.
Oh, that's stupid. I mean, that's an easy win for Brock. So.
Yeah, because what it is to sell the show because they know that Brock will be a champion going to WrestleMania. There's no way in fucking hell you can't bury Seth Rollins, okay? Because Seth Rollins, for the record, his heel turn is fucking phenomenal. Like I've grown. Remember last year I was like, oh Seth, I'm done with Seth. This fucking guy's this annoying now. And now all of a sudden,
he's another one that's better at the heel. Yeah, he's better as a heel.
Awesome. And it's funny, he's always been better at the heel. Yeah, and he still kind of has like baby face sort of like moments. I would call like he's like a troll. Like he's a heel, but he's not like a full on bad guy. He just trolls the crowd.
I actually love the irony about him being the Monday Night Messiah, and he's a known atheist. So I think it's just hilarious.
He's an atheist for real?
Yeah, he's an atheist, so it's just funny how he's just...
Well,
that's why I think it's funny that he's doing the Monday Night Messiah thing and feeding into it. It's great. Like, we know his backstory. It's like, wow, it's hilarious.
Well, I mean, it should be comfortable from now knowing he's an atheist. He can do this role and not offend anybody because, quite frankly, he's an atheist. Not feel offended. But back to the Charlotte thing, real quick. I think it's a perfect way for, once again, to put the NXT brand over, even though they've been doing a good job putting the NXT brand over. And what I mean by over is putting them on the same limelight as SmackDown and Raw, And I really think Charlotte will lose to Rhea Ripley. I think it'll be a clean pin as well, because for Charlotte it doesn't matter. And Charlotte, remember, she also has close ties with Triple H. Triple H is friends with her father, so she'll have no problem jobbing to another young woman who's just killing it, right? Rhea Ripley is killing it right now, And Charlotte has lost, Charlotte's lost a few before, to put them over. And I keep on saying put them over with quotation marks because Rhea Ripley is very over, but I mean in terms of brand and cross-brand promotion. And I can see Charlotte losing a clean pin to Rhea Ripley. And you know what? It's going to be no sweat on Charlotte's back because she's always in a title picture.
Have you been?
Affect her, and they'll just do.
Have you started watching NXT finally, or are you still?
I started watching it last week. It's just better wrestling. I'll say that.
I told you it's phenomenal.
It's just better wrestling, you know. Like, and I kind of like, but don't like the cheaper feel to it.
Well, it's different. Like I said, you have to get used to it. It's different. It's like a real wrestling show. You know what I'm saying?
It reminds me of like ECW almost.
Yeah. The thing is, it does take a while to get used to. It took me a while to get used to it. Once you're in, man, it's like, oh my god, these guys are amazing. You know. So here's Ross.
Yeah, I think a lot of them lack mic skills though.
Yeah, but again, this is why they're
at NXT.
Except Adam Cole.
Like,
Adam Cole's
even
the
that
best.
guy Lee. Yeah, Adam Cole's great. I don't. Keith Lee, I think is bad on the mic. You know,
he's getting better. He was a little rough at times for the first time, but now he's gotten better. Waiting for
and I want to see what they're gonna do. Yeah, and with them, like once again, the women is just so talented. I want to see what they're gonna do with Bianca Belair and Toni Storm.
Oh yeah,
because both of them are
both
of them are fantastic.
Right, their women's division is the best in all professional wrestling. I don't care which brand you pick.
Yeah,
AEW,
it really is.
Raw, SmackDown. I don't give a fuck. It is the best.
I don't care if you're a fan of wrestling or not. If you don't like Toni Storm's size, I don't have an answer for you.
I like her booty though. Oh my god.
Toni Storm has the.
I didn't know who she was until you mentioned.
Strongest size, I think, in wrestling.
Hey, Ross. No, go quick.
I wasn't going to say anything until I heard a comment about a booty, and I'm like, okay, let me get in here before this goes really wrong.
No, it's not wrong.
No,
like, G had told me about Toni Storm a long time ago, and I saw her for the first time 2 weeks ago, and I fell in love. Just saying. Hey, Rosalyn.
Like Toni Storm made my top 5.
And by Rosalyn, we're on air, just for the record. We're recording, so just jump in while you can.
Oh, gosh, you're recording?
Yeah, we've been recording for 6 minutes already. 7 minutes now. Me and G.
Oh, okay. Well, hello. I mean, do
Hi.
I get an intro, or what's going on here?
Rosalyn Ross from Memphis, who, by the way, made a big trip. who, by the way, just completed a big trip with my team today.
Wait a minute, what happened?
Well, the Grizzlies made a big trip to Heat this
Oh,
morning.
yeah, of course. Well, yeah, that thing had to end.
You guys get Deion Waiters, you guys get Justice Winslow, you guys get James Johnson. We get Iguodala, we get Jay Crowder, and some other piece.
Yeah, well, I'm just happy that the drama is over because
What drama?
the whole,
What drama? The Iggy
I mean,
drama?
we were taking a lot of heat for apparently holding Andre Iguodala hostage and not letting him be great. So I mean, while we're in the midst of a good run with what's going to be the Rookie of the Year, we were having to deal with all this trash talk about.
He's so good. He is so fucking good.
Yeah, he's. I'm having the same response to him as I had to Mike Conley, actually, in that, Lionel Hollins with Mike was just so committed, and I was like, okay, he really thinks this dude is going to be a thing, and he was a thing. He is a thing, and I had that same reaction to John, like, okay, well, let's see how it goes. But
Roz,
he really is a phenomenon. It's cool
Roz,
to watch him.
I'm a Conley fan. I like Conley. This kid is healthy. He's going to be better than Conley, and I ain't close.
Well, I don't want to start going all crazy with the whatever. Let's just say.
Gee, just does this shit. I don't want to go crazy. I don't want to go crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, let's not just go crazy. I mean, last night during our game on our local broadcast, Brevin Knight was like, John made some amazing little dump-off shot, and Brevin was like, yeah, he should be able to, if he stays healthy, he can get those consistently for the rest of his career. It's like, hold on. At some point, his game probably will have to change as people get more familiar with him and where he likes to get to his spots. And so we don't think he's just going to be able to trot out and do the same thing forever.
Right.
So just everybody slow down. But I'm having that same sort of like really pleasantly surprising.
And they're playing well. They're playing very well.
Yeah.
Playoff team, right? I believe they're a playoff team that started today.
That's what I'm saying. We deserve way more than they have to be, be battling it out on a public stage with Andre Iguodala right now. So I'm glad that is done and over with, and now we can stop being the bad guys.
You guys right now, as this recording, you guys are at Game Over 500. You're the 8th seed currently in the Western Conference. It started today. Yeah, you guys are in a good spot right now. And remember, this is when you guys started slow. You guys started off slow this year. So kudos to the
Oh, we
Phillies,
indeed
man.
did. Yeah.
I'm proud of you guys,
Yeah,
man. You guys are fun to watch. I'm proud of you guys. Can we start here first? Can we start here first? Because this will actually lead into our main topic of today. Have you guys seen the Snoop Dogg video? Him calling out Gayle King and Oprah Winfrey?
Yes.
Love it.
Hey,
Love
G,
it.
I don't think hey, G, how are you doing? Oh, did we lose G? Has G
No,
been gone this whole time?
G, you here? G.
Oh, we lost him.
No, G's on the line. He's
You
on the line
called me
now.
and lost G.
He's on the line.
Maybe you put us on hold.
G, if you're here, you are online, and we'll talk to you. The Gayle King thing with Oprah and Snoop Dogg.
Yes, I saw.
Talking about Kobe Bryant. Obviously her interview with Lisa Leslie, talking about Kobe Bryant and her, poking the bear about Kobe and his discretions in the past and Colorado and all that. Can I just say real quick, Rosa, I'm going to go ahead right now in this moment and take full credit for this. I was calling those two numbskulls out last year because they did this shit with Michael Jackson last year too, and now they're doing it with Kobe as well too. Yep. Now this year, okay? And I told y'all those two are frauds. I told y'all that. Been saying all year long. And now it's coming to pass now. Yes, on Twitter especially too. And now it's coming to pass now. They fucked with the wrong people now. Raj, your thoughts?
Well, so this is what I'm trying to be balanced about this.
Okay. See, you're back, right?
So first of all, I remember.
Yeah, I'm here.
I have a balanced response and reaction that I'm processing, but I have personal thoughts. And so the balance part is that I remember when George H.W. Bush died, and black people especially, because ultimately we can't pretend that some of this Kobe response, particularly most of the people that are calling up the rape allegations are white women and people who are white women adjacent. And so it hints at race, and so I'm going to bring this up from the George H.W. Bush perspective about race. So when he died, black folks started almost immediately, like on the day he died, calling out, his lording over the crack epidemic and, all of that, right? And how that changed black communities all over America. And there was no hesitation. And no one was, not many of us were, and by us I mean black people, we're not considering, oh, he died and oh, his family's mourning him, so let's not talk about this right now. So there's a thing about energies to me, like it's the same energy, right? Like regardless of how you feel about what the person did, the response is of the same energy. So
I don't remember. Roz, the one thing I'll say, and you're correct on that. There was some of that out there, but I don't remember high-profile blacks saying this stuff. High-profile blacks.
Well, I mean, no one was asking for high-profile black people's opinions on national TV about George W. Now, here's the thing: there probably were, and I don't watch a lot of political. You watch way more political commentary than I do.
Correct.
But there probably were, I would assume, someone talked to the Van dude and the woman on CNN. Like somebody talked to them, and I would have to guess, based on their personalities, one of them brought up the fact that this man was heavily responsible for the ruining of many black families across America by crack and its infusion into our community. So I will say that just, this is some yoga, every now and then I drift into yogi balance perspective on the show, which is that it's the same energy. And so we just need to be careful of that, because what we're getting now, what black folks are getting now about Kobe, we've kind of given out about these losses. Even in this Rush Limbaugh, even this announcement of him having lung cancer, which he has definitely said vile things, which tend to represent him as a vile human being. Many of us have come right out of the gate and like,
which is a shame,
okay,
too, because he's
go
actually
ahead and,
a phenomenal radio talent, but he's a piece of shit.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, most of us are like, okay, go ahead and die now. And that's not very much different from Kobe died, don't forget he raped. It's not that much different, okay? So,
Except,
the yogi in me...
But here's the problem, though.
Go ahead.
Okay, and I'm with you on that. Energy and all that. I'm pretty balanced when it comes to a lot of this shit, too. I'm a moderate by nature anyway. I vote moderately pretty much in elections and all that. Everything says is correct. Except, what you're saying with HW is kind of correct. There's proof that his policies did hurt. There's
there
proof.
we go. Yeah.
There's no proof of Kobe Bryant doing what he did. There's still a lot of smoke and mirrors in that situation.
Correct. So now we get into my personal perspective, which is that what I find very intriguing and upsetting about the Kobe situation, even I just read a black person, a black journalist, maybe CNN, I can't remember where I read it, but some opinion piece about how, we have to be able to allow our heroes to be fallible and, to be complex characters as they exist in our world, as these heroes, blah, 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 scoop, that thing, that narrative. And even in that article, the person sort of volleyed between saying Kobe hurt a woman and then saying he allegedly hurt a woman, right? So even in that piece where they were clearly trying to say, yeah, he did it, but that don't make him a bad person, they still weren't able to say directly that he did it because there is no directly that he did it. If you want to,
look, this is the thing, again, there's no proof, and she saw it on the court. She's, okay, if you want to say he was a bad guy for cheating on his wife, go at it. Go right at it, because he owned that shit.
Yeah.
But to call him a rapist
one last
with no proof?
I don't want to dominate this whole thing because I can't wait to hear what G has to say.
Oh, G, get in there, bro. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, wait, let me say this one last thing, which is that, so that's the other, to finish up that thought, that's one of the parts I find very intriguing is that we don't even know what to do with what we know. Like, what we think we know, what has not been verified, we don't even know what to do with that information. The woman didn't testify. The case was dismissed. I just learned, I didn't know this, that there were reports that she was bragging about having had sex with him and talking about his anatomy to her friends. I didn't know that. I never even read that part.
There's evidence that she had sex with somebody else right after Kobe. DNA evidence.
Yeah.
Again, which is why she saw in the first place.
I wasn't even aware of that. But I will say that even in the saying of the fact that this thing happened, it's still not even balanced because Kobe Bryant had one of the most amazing responses to these accusations that I've ever heard from a singular human being in history when he came out and said, which this is a quote, while I still feel that this was a consensual exchange, I have come to understand how she may believe that it was not consensual.
Does that mean rape, though?
He said, based on, well, what I'm saying, I'm not even debating rape right now. I'm talking about the fact that a man who was accused of rape, who was in the middle of a civil trial, basically came out and said, even though I don't think I did anything wrong, I totally understand why she thinks that, and I'm sorry about that. Now, when have you ever heard anybody take even that level of responsibility for something that could or could not have been a violation of someone's personal space and sexuality? Like, no, I've never even heard anyone articulate a singular thing like that, especially in the middle of negotiations for a payout in a civil case. Mm-hmm. So even to me, in that, Kobe handled that in a way that was at a level that should be respected and should be, at the very least, an attachment to anything anyone has to say about it. Like, if you want to say, okay, he raped her, and, by the way, he kind of acknowledged that she may have been violated because he apologized and said he understood why she felt that. Like, even that needs to be added because that's still a demonstration of his character that is an important piece to add along to the rest of this narrative. But they're not even doing that. It's just very much about he was accused, so he must have done it. And I no, I can't. That's not what we're going to do, especially since the case didn't go through. She withdrew, took her opportunity to tell her side of the story off
the thing is,
which
right,
could have happened for any reason.
And the reason why the reason why the angle of Oprah and Gayle King is important is that Gayle King and Oprah provides cover, legitimate cover for any accusations. This is why I was very critical of them with the Michael Jackson thing, because once things start coming up about that documentary saying that these guys are fucking lying, and Oprah quietly backed off, started taking out videos of her special after things started coming out about that situation, and now this shit, and here she is going after black men on a routine basis. Some may be guilty, of course, but not after Weinstein? Fuck out of here. Gee, your thoughts?
Yep. I've always said when it came to the Kobe thing, and it comes off as a joke, but I mean, because that's just the way I talk, but I really, really meant it. When she said, I remember one thing in particular when her lawyers were saying that she was raped by Kobe, and the proof is that her vaginal walls were, like, destroyed, and that was truth. And I kept telling everybody, Kobe is a 6'8" black guy in prime physical shape. Yeah, your vaginal walls are getting torn the fuck up, girl. And you ain't used to that. So like, yeah, like that meant nothing to me. When people said that, I was like, how old was Kobe when that happened? 25? 24?
24.
I really can't remember.
It was 2003, right?
2003,
yeah.
So that'd be 24, 25.
Yeah, that'd be like 24 then. Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. I am not a 6'8" black guy. When I was 24, I was on animal. All right? So Kobe Bryant was and so I kind of understand what Rosalyn was saying when he said, I can understand why to her it wasn't consensual, because sometimes you catch a zone when you're getting into those intimate moods, and maybe you do something that 3 girls prior to this one were so down with. Then you did it with this one, and she gives you that look like, I don't like that. And
I don't disagree. I actually like that assessment, G.
Now, G, look.
Because people don't want to say that, but it's true, and that happens. Like,
now, G,
especially if you're an active sexual person, that happens.
G, the reason we got this topic is this. Snoop Dogg today came out on video for 2.5 minutes bashing Oprah and Gayle King of CBS because of the interview that Gayle King did with Lisa Leslie in terms of Kobe Bryant and her poking the bear and basically trying to insinuate that he was a rapist, or basically saying that he did inappropriate shit. Not related to being cheating on his wife, of course. And I'm saying to you that these two are getting their comeuppance finally from the community because they're starting to see that there's a pattern here with these two, going after black men on a regular basis, especially dead ones. But hey, Weinstein, what's up? Haven't heard a fucking word about Weinstein from Oprah what yet since he got charged with his crimes.
Yeah, you want to know why? Because there's money and there's attention when you bash a black guy. That's why.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So they're fucking hypocrites.
Like especially when it's not for nothing. We're talking about the most famous black. We're talking about Michael Jackson, R. Kelly. R. Kelly's a scumbag. But I'm just saying, Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, Kobe Bryant. We're talking about the creme de la creme of black popularity.
Right.
So the clicks. That's what everybody want to call it. That's a real thing. The clicks are going to happen. You're going to see people that like tapping into clips of the interview with a girl bashing Kobe or saying that he's a rapist. Everybody's click. It's all TMZ type of shit. But let me tell you, like that's why I hate TMZ, because TMZ will, for any black guy or anybody, they put that shit on blast and they run with it. Any white guy thing, you don't see shit. And it's bullshit. And I'm telling you, it's because nobody cares if a white guy gets caught doing shit. That's exactly it. And I don't know how this podcast once a month became a Black Power podcast, and this Puerto Rican gets thrown into it. It's like 3 pods in a row. You got me defending minorities. I hate it.
And only that, you got one Puerto Rican, a black moderate, you know what I mean, who's actually a little more in the middle, a lot of shit, and the beautiful Rosalyn Ross, of course,
Well, I'm a black kid. So, I mean, ultimately, like I said, the other thing I agree 100% with you, G, in that there is so much attention and so much money to be made off of these stories about black folks. But I want to add, like, not just Harvey Weinstein, like after the Charlie Rose accusations came out, because Charlie Rose used to be on
Yep.
CBS.
Go ahead and say it, Roz. I know you're going to Roz. Go ahead and say it.
Say that again?
No, say it. I know exactly where you're going. Go ahead and say it. Go exactly what you're saying. I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, that was her, like, that was, she, after he was accused, she went on record to say she supported him and he was still one of her best friends. And then that's all that, no one was bashing her about her personal relationship about Charlie Rose, even after the accusations about him came out. So to put Kobe's friend on TV, like not a lawyer, not somebody who was, part of the case, not somebody that was in the depositions, not even that level of interview, to have a friend of Kobe come on and you try to disqualify the friend's perspective by going on and on with questions, as she's like, no, that's my boy, basically, is what she was saying. Like, no, I never saw it, that's my boy. He didn't do me like that. To try to, don't call me on as the friend and then try to have me. I'm not even qualified because my relationship is too close to even have which is something she knows because she defended her friend after he was accused and would not fall off of her support.
You know what she's saying now, right, Roz? She's saying now that it was edited badly by CBS. She's blaming CBS for how they edited it. And you know what? Even if CBS did do that, fuck her anyway.
Well, I mean, again...
Go ahead.
Go ahead, G. Sorry. Go ahead, G.
I was gonna say about go back to that point about because as a black guy, people care. This is something that's legit. People want to see a successful black guy fall, which is why when Eddie Murphy fucks up, it's all over it doesn't matter if Eddie Murphy's washed up, Like for years, nobody was talking about Eddie Murphy. When Eddie Murphy fucks up, when he's out there fucking up, it's all over the news.
Yeah, right?
And this is something that I remember reading. When Jay-Z and Damon Dash went separate ways, right? I remember there was a cover, and Jay-Z had his Rock Nation people on the cover. LeBron James was on the cover with him. And so people were like, what's your relation? And this is when LeBron was like a year into the league. He was like 19 years old probably, right? And so they asked Jay-Z, oh, is LeBron doing an album on your label, or are you trying to get him to the Nets? He was like, it's nothing like that. He was like, I'm here he's still friends with LeBron James. And he basically told him, I've been through the pitfalls already. I still got pitfalls coming. They want you to fail so badly. He was like, there is nothing more that people want than for you to fail right now. Yep. And Jay-Z wanted to in his corner to make sure he doesn't fail. And he said he was watching this kid. He's a phenom. He's the real deal. And he was like, I didn't want to see this kid get torn down for anything. So I just wanted him to know I'm in his corner if he needs to talk. And this has nothing to do with business, Jay said. It's just that like he saw it, like a lot of people saw it. This kid could be a leader, And it brings. I feel like I name drop Jesus Nice every other podcast on here.
It's okay.
But like when Jesus first started getting popular, like going mainstream, he was on Vice, I think, or MTV, whatever it was. And matter of fact, shout out to Jesus and Meryl because their season 2 just came back on Showtime. I had David Letterman on, so congrats to them.
Congrats.
The first thing he told me, yeah, for real. First thing he told me, we were out of the bar, and he goes, I was like, dude, like, what goes through your mind, like, when all this shit is happening? And he goes, first thing that goes through my mind is I've got to make all the connections and make all the friends I can because I'm 38 years old, a black guy, and this wasn't supposed to happen, and people will look for me to fuck up. And it's scary that you got to think like that. Like, you can't just go out and enjoy yourself. And he's a guy he is who he is on TV, free-spirited, fun-loving. He goes out, talks to girls. He is keeping his nose clean, let me tell you.
Smart guy.
He is keeping his dirt clean. He's just on top of his shit. And he said because it all can be taken away from you. That's and that's why I hate when someone in their death can't defend themselves anymore and people want to try to bring out dirt. That's the lowest form of cowardism I think that exists.
Well, especially when there's no proof. That's the worst part.
Yeah. It's like, especially when the rest of the world is mourning, and he has a family who's mourning.
And that's the thing about me, too, also, with the whole situation. Like, and this is where, and I'm sorry, this is where my mom, this is why I don't give a fuck. I'll say this out loud. This is why I will never become a Democrat, ever, and never be a liberal. Because you have the fake-ass liberal whites, not even fucking 2 hours after the confirmed death, putting out articles the Washington Post, whatever it may be, any other publications about this shit, about Colorado. First off, if your goal is to hurt Kobe, he ain't here anymore. You heard us. So you might as well just tag his wife on Twitter. Tag his wife. Tag him. Tag Vanessa on Twitter. Might as well. You trying to hurt her and her kids too? I mean, what's your goal here? What's your end game? Clout chasing. Fuck it. I'm done with it. I'm so over it.
It's a lot of jealousy too. When people see too much praise going to the direction of somebody has to come and just counteract it. Cause
I actually murdered a few journalists on Twitter on the day of his death because I saw a couple of journalists there putting out some shit. I'm like, you out of your fucking mind.
It's like I'm not sure if you noticed, DJ, but I was actively like not on Twitter for like 2 days when that happened because I didn't even want to read.
I didn't see you. Yeah, I didn't see you.
I couldn't do it either. I couldn't do it either.
Yeah, I didn't want to read anything, and I appreciate everybody sending their love out. Even that, I couldn't deal with anymore.
What's funny?
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I couldn't deal with it either. I had to give it up. Like it was getting overwhelming. Like it still is overwhelming to me now. That's why even when we were talking about like this pod, I was like, yeah, I was teasing you saying don't make us cry, but the reality of it is that it's a lot.
I feel pissed.
Well, exactly. So now we've arrived at a place where we've got to be angry about something as opposed to what we might have done, which was, tell all our favorite Kobe stories and be balling out crying on the farm. But yeah, I mean, even that.
Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg. He called them out. He's the one that called them out in the first place. Called their asses out.
You know what I will say? Like, go ahead, Ross. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, G.
No, I was gonna say, aside from the bad mouthing of Kobe while he's dead or whatever, I just gotta say, for me personally, like I always thought, like when it came to celebrity deaths, there was only gonna be a few that would ever really affect me, like to my heart and soul. I always said Brian Wilson, Jay-Z, and Joe Budden would probably be the ones.
Correct.
Like right now, like I already went through Biggie and Big L, and those are big for me, Big L and Biggie, for different reasons. And I always say, man, that the day Jay-Z dies, the day Brian Wilson dies, the day Joe Budden kills himself, even though he's not in that realm anymore. But there was always a chance Joe Budden was just going to kill him.
It's a good place to He's a good place to He's a
great place right now. Thank God. Thank God he's in a great place. Yeah, I always said,
oh my God, that's horrible.
But it's the truth. You can ask Joe Budden. He's probably like, yeah, I'll fucking do it. But this Kobe thing hit, and I think there was a difference. Like EJ, you've been potting forever. I've always loved Kobe.
Yep.
It's not like something that came out of nowhere. I've always loved Kobe. That's always been my guy. And I just thought, and my friend Brian Farley said it to me because he was fucked up over it too. He was like, Kobe was our age group. We were supposed to grow with him, and he was invincible to us. So seeing this happen shook you to the core. Like, I'm getting goosebumps just saying that. Like, I cried about 5 times on Sunday, probably 4 times on. I'm not like that. I'm really not like that. For me to, like, throw my phone and cry in my house, like, this thing hit me harder than I ever would have imagined. Like, I've had family members die, and I'm just like, this is life. This wasn't supposed to be the end of Kobe's life, man. At 41 with his daughter and with other companions on the helicopter in a crash. And the thing that always gets me is that he seems so happy in retirement. You see so many greats that after they retire, they seem lost or they seem sour, Like Michael Jordan, but post-career is the most miserable human being on the face of the earth, Like Larry Bird found success always just looks miserable, Because that height of where you were as a sports athlete can never come back to you. It's not like being a writer and having writer's block. It'll come back to you. Being in that peak physical condition where you're a prime athlete, that is gone,
Correct.
And Kobe looked like he was so comfortable with it because he was looking forward to making a mark in his entrepreneurship. And that's the sad part about it, man. He was a bright kid. I can say kid, he's my age. He was a bright guy. He had so much going for him, and this one hurt because his legacy is cemented. His legacy is great. His legacy would have been that much greater if he had another 40 years on this earth, and that's the disappointing part of this, that we were all robbed of this. Kobe was destined for greatness, and we got robbed of it.
I was saying on the podcast last night with Mark, and I said it on the tribute podcast last week that and it hit me a week later after a couple days ago, that I think the reason it just hurt me really so much is the fact that, Jordan's a GOAT. We're all going to agree with that. That's not going to change. Kobe dying is not going to change who's the greatest player of all time, who I think is Jordan. But Michael Jordan never felt real to me. Kobe Bryant did. Michael Jordan never felt Michael Jordan, especially in our age groups, us three, Michael Jordan felt like an alien to me. He felt foreign and alien to me, like never attainable. He's so great, and even if he had bad things about him, you didn't know about it back then because social media didn't exist. You didn't have that kind of access in that way. Kobe Bryant felt more real to me. The Colorado thing, the going through the stuff with his wife, publicly twice. Kobe Bryant felt, and Kobe to me, based on my love of Kobe Bryant, I used to hate Kobe Bryant coming in the league, and then I grew to love him. Like, that's the thing. It was a natural thing where I went from hating the guy in 98, 99, 2000 to when he got to Colorado and went to 24, loving the guy and seeing him grow and mature and becoming, all the things that people would criticize him for, he would fix. He's too selfish. Okay, fine. So he took less shots and win championships, all that. So he became a man. He grew. And I feel like as I was growing as a man in my 20s, my 30s, he was too. And I can relate to that. He felt more human to me than Jordan ever did. It fucked me up on so many fronts because of that. His daughter being involved in the situation. There's several people involved in the helicopter too. So there was so many layers of this that, obviously if Kobe died, obviously it'd be a big deal, but I didn't think it would hit me this hard. Like, this is top level celebrity death for me, in my opinion. So,
well, and don't miss the fact that he. What are you saying, G?
It sucks that we don't see each other so we can see each other talk. No, I'm gonna say real quick to what you said, EJ. Rachel Nichols actually said that. She said, and she just said his infidelity. She said like he wasn't perfect off the court. He wasn't perfect on the court, And she brought up that when the whole thing out with his infidelity, he owned up to it. He had to do some hard work to earn his wife's trust back, and he became a total family guy. And because of that made him so much more relatable to the regular guy.
Yeah, correct.
Of like, damn, I fucked up. I got to make things better. And you watch a guy in Kobe's status do it, and now remember, Kobe lost all his sponsorships, everything. Yep. He rebooted his whole persona.
The Mamba, Black Mamba, all that started after Colorado. Mm-hmm.
The guy remodeled himself. I mean, himself a better person and a better player.
Phenomenal father too, and you can see that. Pictures don't lie. Pictures can lie at times, but sometimes when you look at pictures and you see consistency, love those kids, man. God, love those kids. You can tell.
Yeah, the funny thing, I'm still processing my reaction because I actually, I was not a huge, like when he got in the league, I loved Kobe because he was young and he was our age. And and then I went through a spell where I really didn't like him. And the reason I didn't, and it wasn't because, I don't even think it was because of the other reasons people were saying that, like EJ, why didn't you like him?
I thought he was too arrogant. I thought people came to me Michael Jordan out the gate when he shouldn't have been. I was in a time frame back then. I remember, this is also 18-year-old me, not 40-year-old me.
No. I'm just curious.
For context. So, my thought process back then was, you got to earn this. You can't just be named Jordan. You can't be the next Jordan without earning that title. And granted, this is from somebody who's not even a Bulls fan. I hated the Bulls. But understanding Jordan's place in history at that time too. Kobe was way too young to be getting all that praise like that. So it was, a lot of it was his resentment and just, I guess, a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of a, like, what the fuck? Like, really? Dude, this guy?
Yeah, I'm conceding. Right. So I am an outlier for my transition from not liking him to liking him, and I'm probably an outlier in my response to my hard-cried, hard-fought tearful response to his death, which is like, I actually didn't care for him very much when he came to the league because he seemed fake to me. Like he seemed like he was being a thing that was contrived and was. And listen, like
That's
we
correct.
all have to do it. Like when this podcast blows up, and there'll be a version of us that exists to just us, and then there will be a version of us that exists to people who love our podcast and all of that. You know what I mean?
Change.
So I'm not a weird. Well, I don't think you'll change, but I think order for your listen. But here's the thing. I'm not talking about actual change. I'm talking about the reality of having to protect your soul from the vultures, right? So there ultimately you just have to find a way to be as authentic as you can while also holding on to the most cherished parts of yourself, right? And so what I felt like I was watching was Kobe was a completely like contrived human being, like a freaking robot, right? And while I thought he was very gifted, I'm not really ever drawn to robots. I can't deal with that.
Oh,
but after
that too, Roz. Also, he was very fake in his pre-24. Before Colorado was very fake.
Yeah, he just seemed very fake. And so for when the rape accusations happened out of Colorado, it seemed to give him permission to not have to be that thing anymore. Like it almost felt like he was like, oh, okay, well, people are going to think badly of me now, so now I can just be myself. And to me, actually, he became more of an asshole after that, which is like we're calling it the Mamba mentality now. But back then, it just seemed like an asshole who was like, and again, I like assholes because I like people who can stand firmly in knowing who they are and what's messed up about them, what's good about them, and the fact that they're still gifted. And he kind of was just like, oh, I know I can do this. I know I'm a beast. I know y'all don't like me anyway, so now I'm just going to be myself. And that was like, that's when I was like, oh, I like this Kobe very much. Like the Kobe that was not giving you the Sprite smile and all of the interviews. Like it was just it felt like a very real version of a person who probably felt isolated as a kid, who probably had a chip on his shoulder because nobody was touching him when he came to the States, like all of that stuff. And even in death now, I am hesitant to, while again, the rape accusations are like a wholly separate thing to me, but ultimately he did cheat on his wife and he, whatever. So even in death now, I'm like, what if nothing everyone thinks they see is real, right? So when we look at the pictures and we're like, oh, we're looking at the videos and like, oh, he loved his family so much. Like, I'm okay I'm still okay though. Like if none of that is actually, like if he was still cheating on his wife to this day, and if he was still not very much like the family man that we see in the photos, like if he was still none of that, there's still something wholly tragic about the way he died, how early he died, and how it seemed like he had a lot more to do. You know what I mean? There's something just really, if you strip off all of the fantasy and the fairy tales and the stories that have made us cry for the last almost 2 weeks, if you take away all of that, you cannot deny how tragic of a loss this is, of watching an icon die. You know what I mean? Like having to experience the emptiness of him no longer being here. And so even in his death, I'm kind of like, I'm still going to be good. Like if none of what people are telling me is true, like if it's still all kind of fake stories, just fake Kobe stories, which I don't think it is. Right, but I honestly don't. So don't get me wrong. I don't think it's fake. I think he definitely very much was a family man. I think he very much was trying to be a very good husband. But ultimately, if none of that is real, like life is really hard, and to witness someone go in this manner at this time with their daughter and other children, and other people who love their children, and to be robbed of whatever the hell else he was getting ready to do is tragic enough. on top of, oh, he was a good dad. Oh, he was, but even without that, it's like, it's overwhelming to me. It really is. Like, it really is. And I'm with G that it is hitting me in a way that I wasn't prepared for. But maybe I wasn't prepared for it because I really wasn't ever thinking I would have to be thinking about it right now, that Kobe would die. You know what I mean? Like, it seemed like Kobe would have lived.
Go ahead, G.
Like, it seemed like he was going to be sitting around.
Kobe Bryant's the kind of person. Sorry, Araz. I was just saying, like Kobe's the kind of person that when his death hit, you're supposed to be sitting around in your rocking chair, like, well, I got to be coming up soon, because you know, like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, the mortality thing definitely comes into play. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like
that,
it's
you know,
but it's not. But you wanted that though. Like, you wanted to hear Kobe's random commentary on crap for you. It's not just like, oh, we're so close in age and he dies, I gotta start thinking about. No, it's really more like, I really wanted to hear years more worth of, like, Kobe talking about basketball and Kobe talking about his love of film and Kobe investing. Like, I wanted to hear years and years and years more worth of him talking about how he flipped this entire retirement narrative into the dopest story ever, which also, as G said, is not a thing we normally see. Like, we don't see that. We don't see people having this amount of success with this amount of interest in this, you know, this varying level of topics and ideas and funding and all of this stuff that Kobe was doing. Like, I wanted to hear him talking about that when he was 80. Like, I wanted those stories. And to not have that, again, is really, really, really tragic.
He's also,
even
in
if
my opinion,
nothing else is true, it's tragic.
He's also, in my opinion, probably the last really true, authentic athlete we've had. Oh, at least basketball player that we have. Like, I'm not saying LeBron's not authentic, but LeBron does seem contrived a lot of times. Kobe Bryant post 2003 was never.
LeBron is certainly not authentic. LeBron is certainly not authentic.
No, there's a lot of contriving there with LeBron. Okay, Kobe Bryant post 03.
I don't think. I think the most authentic person in the league after him is probably Russell Westbrook.
Yes. And
yeah, exactly.
To a fault. To a fault.
Yeah, exactly. I love Russell Westbrook.
I do too.
But yeah, I think what you see is what you get from Russell Westbrook. I had a question for you, EJ, because you and me have always bumped heads with Magic Johnson. You said that's your favorite basketball player. I think he's one of the most overrated professional athletes of all time, and a clown.
You're allowed to be wrong,
with that being said, is Kobe the greatest Laker of all time, or you still got Magic there?
So why am I gonna? If my mind hasn't changed before his death, why would it change after his death? That's being fake. That's being reactionary.
No. You can have a favorite player, but that favorite player can be your favorite for whatever reason. It doesn't mean he's the best.
I think we could probably. I think we could probably maybe restate this now. I think now, and probably in post now in death, especially too. Kobe might be the most important Laker of all time, but is it? I don't know, man. Because Magic Johnson literally took Lakers from like obscurity for a couple of years. Remember, the Lakers were shit for a good 8-9 years before he got there, and Showtime was named after him. I mean, the guy went to won 5 titles and 9 temps in just 12 years. I mean, that's unheard of. It's hard because. Here's the difference between. This is why it's hard now, and this is why we need to kind of not be reactionary with these kind of things also too. Okay, the reason this one hits hard too with Kobe is Kobe Bryant is still our generation. He's still in this generation. Okay, so if you're under 25 years old, you still experience Kobe Bryant's prime to some degree. Okay, Michael Jordan is already a generation removed. And I'm talking about Washington Wizards Michael Jordan. I'm talking about Chicago Bulls. Wizards Jordan is already a generation removed. 17 years since he played basketball. Okay? So people who are even 15 years old has probably seen at least some of Kobe's prime. So Kobe Bryant is still so right now. He was still involved in pop culture. The guy won a fucking Oscar a couple years ago. Okay? So he was still so involved and so around the league and in pop culture in general that's why it hurts. You know, if Jordan dies, obviously it'd be a big deal, but because it's a generation removed, it may not be as big a deal as Kobe's death was. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I mean, for the record, I think Kareem is a better Laker than Magic, so whatever.
No one asked your opinion, so.
So do you think he's the greatest? Do you think he's the greatest Laker? Or do you think it's Kobe?
Who, me?
Now I'm talking about G, who just said Kareem.
Oh, he is Magic.
I've been saying Kobe's the greatest Laker for like 10 years already.
Yeah, he's been saying that for 10 years.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
To be fair. I'm not going to do that spot.
I think Kobe, hands down, is the greatest Laker of all time. Hands down.
But it's hard to...
I don't even think there's a competition there.
But I do think it's hard now because it's the reactionary nature of who we are now. Now everybody's asking about Kobe Bryant, should he be the logo and all this stuff. I'm like, stop. If we weren't considering it before his death, we shouldn't start doing that now. Let's stop that. You know what I'm saying?
But what I will say is that if there was anyone to replace Jerry West, it would make sense it was Kobe Bryant because Jerry West loved Kobe Bryant.
The narrative,
so
right?
That's
the narrative, right?
Yeah. It would make sense that it was him and not like LeBron. You know, because and Jerry West has said millions of times he doesn't give a shit about being a logo. You know, he really doesn't care. You know, but I think if there was anybody, it would be Kobe. But I can't see it happening because the logo's still synonymous with the league.
I'm also a facts or feelings guy too. I'm not a big feelings guy like in that way. Like I don't like to react to things just because we react to it. So so you have to be very careful.
Yeah,
with that.
no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying in my assessment. Like you don't have to pile on. You don't have to pile on the feel goods. You shouldn't have to pile on the feel goods to understand that this is a great loss, regardless. That's the same thing I'm saying. Like, you don't have to keep on adding. No, he doesn't. I don't want him to be the logo. Like that doesn't need to be a thing we're doing now. Like I don't. Of course he needs a statue out in front of Staples Center. Of course he's a Hall of Famer. Like,
he was getting it regardless if he was alive or not. He was getting it regardless.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is real stuff, right? But I don't care if he's the logo. I don't care. Like, I don't need any more of a fantastical, development of who he was, fairy tale of who he was, just to know that this is a very significant loss. Like, this is a big freaking deal.
But it's also a big deal because of the fact that it's so now. Like, if Jordan dies,
very now.
Magic dies, it's not that it won't be a big deal because it'll be a big deal, but they're not as involved in day-to-day in the same way as Kobe, even Kobe post-retirement. Kobe was still just retired 4 years ago, so he's still in our psyche still heavily.
Yeah.
If you saw what Pablo Torre said, after the death of Kobe, it was almost like a natural disaster because, it hit everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's all everybody was talking about. And for friends of mine to text me and be like, dude, I know you loved him. I'm so sorry. It's insane to me. I had 4 or 5 people text me, be like, dude, I know that was your guy. And so even Ross texted me, just to see how I was. Everybody knows I must own 3 basketball jerseys my whole life, and one of them was Kobe Bryant.
Who are the two? Wade and
Kenny Anderson. It was Kenny Anderson
and D Wade that you still owe me.
Yeah, the D Wade one, which I never wore. I just ripped off the tag.
You still owe me.
Yeah, you know what? Every time I ask you for your address, I just always delete it by accident.
Dickhead.
And then I'm like, yo, dude, it's hanging in my closet. The perfect. I think I may have worn it once, but even then, I don't wear jerseys like that. I don't wear jerseys like. But whatever. Kobe was the guy, man. And I used to have the 8 jersey. And I ruined that one. Now I have the 24 jersey.
I'm a 24 guy all day long. I'm always 24, Kobe, over 8, any day of the week. What was I going to say before we get to the next topic? If Kobe died 10 years later, let's say he died in 2030, 2035, would it be as big a shock in the same way as this one is? Still be a big deal. But won't be a big shock because once
you know why I would have? Because he still would have been in the public eye, in my opinion. I think he still would have been.
I agree.
But he wouldn't be as. Remember, he still knows basketball. He only played 4 years ago, so his last game was 61-point game. So it's still fresh in our conscience 4 years later. 14 years later, not so much.
I think it's still a big deal, like G said, because he's still in the public eye. And just 10 years from now, there's probably still dudes that would be in the league talking about, I wanted to play because of Kobe. There'd still be those guys.
Yeah, and that's where Jordan
even at a 10-year clip. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even 10 years from now, there would still be young dudes mourning his loss because he's the one that inspired him to play. So that's not far enough out. Maybe 20 years, maybe that's a different question because by then he's a 60-year-old man. And like I said, I mean, this loss at this time in that way with his daughter, they're going to a game. I mean, certainly that makes it impactful. But honestly,
the layers
if none of it changes except for 10 years from now, it's still because there's still going to be all of us who we grew up with them. And then there's still going to be guys who are in the league talking about, yeah, I want to play because of Kobe. There's still going to be a lot of that even 10 years from now. You know what I mean? I don't know that it hits any different. Maybe 20 years from now, we're kind of like, oh, okay. You know, It's been 5 years since the coach made a public appearance, but 10 years from now, no, we would have still been looking at him pretty regularly, I think.
Right. Okay, let's move on to the Super Bowl real quick. Ross, did you watch Super Bowl, sir?
I watched most kind of. The first half. It was all I needed to see. Yeah.
Really? First half you needed to see?
Listen, I haven't been watching, y'all know, because I say this dang near every month. I haven't been watching football. And so and this is weird because, you know, we can never get away from race on this show completely. But I was all in for rooting for Patrick Mahomes, and then some foolishness came out about him talking about George Zimmerman, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll see if he wins.
Whoa, slow down. What did he say?
Well, and I haven't done enough digging because this is kind of a stupid statement in general. But apparently one of his old tweets resurfaced, and he said that he believed George Zimmerman was innocent. Well, that's a dumb statement anyway.
What year is this?
Well, I don't know. He's a kid now, so presumably he was more of a kid when he said it. I mean, it was probably.
Was it right after the situation? Because that's 2012. That's 8 years ago. He's 20.
I think it was very near to right because Trayvon would have been 25 and he was 17 when he killed. Yeah, so I think it was right after it happened. But again, it's a dumb statement anyway because it's not like George Zimmerman was ever. There was nothing innocent of what we know. He killed this child, so there is no innocence. So either he's saying he's okay with the fact that he did it, or that he did it rightfully so, or he just doesn't know what the hell he's talking about because he's a kid. But even
I'm actually looking right now, Ross. Like he actually didn't. He actually said because he got into a debate with someone in 2013.
Yeah, what did he say? Because I never saw it.
Patrick Mahomes says there was no reason for Zimmerman to follow him, and Trayvon just defended himself. Zimmerman had a gun, so he shot him. That's what he said. And then he goes, I still understand what the point of him following him with the gun was. You know,
what year is that?
So like he was pretty
2013.
Yeah, so he's pretty much saying like, you know, like there was no reason to really follow him. You know, they were both kind of defending themselves, so there's no reason why Zimmerman should have had a gun. That's pretty much what he was saying. Which back as a young kid, I can see why he said that.
And now process it.
He's a kid, right.
And Roz, real quick, I'm not saying you're wrong what you said there, but process it out to somebody who's saying that at age 15 or 16 years old, who does no,
listen,
who barely know how to fucking pee
DJ,
in a toilet.
DJ, I can see. Listen, that's why I started out by saying he's a kid now, so he had to have been more. He's a kid to me now, so he had to have been more of a kid. And by he, I mean Patrick. He had to have been more of a kid when he said that. So even what I heard, which was clearly wrong, but even what I heard what he said sounded dumb and in kid's logic. Anyway, so I'm conceding that off the top.
Right.
But all of that to say, it took a little bit of my, my chutzpah away from wanting to watch him go to work.
I love that word. Chutzpah.
But
he's in the house all the time. My wife is Jewish, so.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's Jewish, yeah.
No, I had no idea Lauren was Jewish.
Yeah, she's Jewish.
Dude, we got to do a whole deep dive into your ability to snag not only a white person, but a Jewish person and marry them and get them to have your baby.
Amen.
We have to know how you did that.
I'm here to fuck the world up one by one.
Yeah, apparently,
wink, wink.
Dude.
Yes,
one kid at a time. You're out here.
Yes.
But I mean, I didn't want to see this. I could care less about the halftime performance.
You didn't like it?
Not that I don't love. I didn't want. Still haven't even seen it. I love J-Lo. Listen,
Shakira.
let it be known I love her. And she's one of the great bad bras of all time. But I didn't have that much interest in it. I sort of knew Kansas City was going to win, and they did. And even though I kind of wanted San Fran to win because one of my friends is a photographer for the team. Shout out
really?
to him.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, was it exciting? I mean, the first half looked pretty good, and San Fran came back, and then Kansas City came back, and then it was over. That's kind of how I think the rest of the game happened after I
It was exciting, yes. I love the results, so I'm obviously very excited what happened. Very exciting.
Really? Why do you care?
I want Andy Reid to win. I want for Andy Reid.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm like, what do you care about?
Andy Reid, baby. Andy Reid. Big Red. Let's go.
Why do you care about Andy? I'm trying to think back to
love
all
Andy
your
Reid, man. I think Andy Reid.
Why do you care about Andy Reid?
Andy Reid is the most underrated coach probably in the history of the sport, and now he got his ring. Because everybody was saying, oh, he's not a Hall of Famer because of those Super Bowls. But he's one of the most innovative coaches in the history of the game. And now a ring justifies the conversation now.
Don't we think he's made some weird decisions in his runs up to the Super Bowl?
Of course he did.
He's usually had bad playoff runs.
And normally because of the fact that he's the play caller normally. That's why, and not much anymore. I think the enemy took over that in the last 2 years, I believe.
And
I don't know. When he had Donovan McNabb and T.O. out there, I was very disappointed in the fact that he couldn't manage them to a win.
Because Tom Brady. Because Tom Brady's not here.
That's
talking about Tom Brady or 6 rings.
Yeah,
Come on now.
Yeah, but that's also because Donovan McNabb is a piece of shit. So
I don't like him. Thank you. You know what's funny? I used to defend that motherfucker for a long time. I can't stand him.
He was never going to win shit with Donovan McNabb.
You know what, dude? No, G, seriously. Like, no, G, no lie. Like, I used to defend that guy for a long time. You know what? Fuck him. You know why? He has the worst takes in the history of sports. He's so bad.
He has the worst what?
No reason.
Hot takes. Like, so dumb.
Oh, yeah, I don't like his takes at all. I don't like his takes.
Like, G is bad, but G is not as bad as Donovan McNabb.
No, remember I was talking before about players who retire and they're all sourpuss? He is I never liked Donovan McNabb. I've never liked him. I always thought he was a piece of shit. You know, like he just comes off like an arrogant piece of shit who always threw at people's ankles when he was under pressure. I'll never forget that.
Nah, he's G on crack. Like, he has bad takes, but his takes are really bad. At least some of your takes have some sort of, like, entertainment to them, and you'll hit one of your takes once in a while. But Donovan McNabb, I never heard a good take from Donovan McNabb to save his life. How is he in media?
Is it possible that he's just boring? Like, is it possible he's just boring, EJ? Like, to me, his takes aren't cool. They're not good because he kind of seems like I don't know. He kind of seems boring. Like,
no. The thing is, it's boring. It's stupid. Like, he's a guy that look. It's one thing to have an opinion, but then to go out of left field to be different. Like, he's the guy that'll say, well, you know the sky's blue, right? But now it's red. It's really red. Like, really?
I just can't stand him.
He's that guy.
Big as dick, and he cost Toronto wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So Mahomes, I mean, dude, probably his worst game of his career.
Yeah.
It's still good enough to win a Super Bowl. Pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean, he's really talented. I mean, he's dope. Yeah, good win by them. And I am also really happy for Andy Reid as well. So I can't,
Big Red, baby. Big Red. Any thoughts on the Super Bowl, G?
First of all, I had no interest in the Super Bowl. I thought this was probably the worst Super Bowl we could get.
Yet you watched it.
Yeah, because I have to. You know.
Why? Why do I have to? Why?
It's the last football game of the year. Like,
no, it's not. You got XFL on Saturday.
Stop. So, and my whole thing, all year I've been saying the 49ers have been just so. I think the 49ers are trash. I think the NFC was just weak this year. I mean, for the Bears to go 8-8 in the NFC, the Bears are a terrible team. But I'm gonna go 8-8. That's a bad NFC. The Green Bay Packers were terrible, and they almost made it to the Super Bowl. The NFC was bad this year, EJ.
I think no. Here's what I think. You're not completely wrong on that, buddy. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're not completely wrong. Like I was saying all year long that even though they went 13-3 and they were the 2 seed, they never at any point this year felt like a Super Bowl contender.
No, and then we people like, oh, that defense. my man. They only played like one good offense all year. They were playing garbage offenses all year. So, I mean, I picked Kansas City. I even took an alternate line at Kansas City -3 and Kansas City -4 to win this game. You know, and I took prop bets on Damian Williams that all paid off. You know, and by the way, Damian Williams should have been MVP.
Probably.
But I think the biggest takeaway from this game for me is how the 49ers are beyond trash and Jimmy Garoppolo is awful. You went and signed him for $135 million, $90 guaranteed. In one game, I saw this man throw a pass with two hands, and I saw a man pass with his eyes closed. That's your franchise. Good luck with that shit moving forward. Because I know a thing about bad quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo is a trash-ass quarterback.
I feel like it's on the Kyle right now. I feel like Kyle's is not on his call, but he's actually talking.
He is so fucking garbage. He is so fucking trash. I can't shit. People are like, oh, like, what have you seen with Garoppolo? Ever.
Kyle's going to kill you. Kyle's going to kill you, buddy. Kyle's going to kill you when he sees you again.
It was funny because somebody actually tweeted, because, you know, like the big joke is how the 49ers robbed the Bears. You know, so the Bears got Trubisky. Meanwhile, Solomon Thomas has been trash. You know, the guy that the 49ers got in their pick. You know, everyone's like, why didn't the 49ers draft Mahomes or Watson? like, really? Like, everybody's killing the Bears for drafting Trubisky, which they should. But it's like, the 49ers drafted Solomon Thomas, and we're happy with Jimmy Garoppolo. You guys could have won Super Bowls, both, if you had Watson and Mahomes.
Hey, I can't leave this call.
And I think next year they struggle to go 9-7.
Probably right. I can't leave this call to bring this up. Gee, we had a podcast a couple weeks ago, and I told you we got to bring this up with Roz when we talk again. Rosalyn, what's your thoughts on Lizzo?
Oh, God. I don't have any.
Oh,
I mean, I don't.
Yo, time out. I hate PR-friendly Roz. She doesn't want to offend nobody. She has to make all her plans.
No, this is
going to offend nobody. Nah, man. Nah, I don't like it.
No,
she's going to have me edit shit again. Watch. She's going to have me edit shit out.
No, seriously. Listen, this is not even PR-friendly Roz, right? This is just me. Like, I can barely, I don't know, it's like old Roz. I don't know what the hell it is. Like, I can barely get out a criticism or some hot take without walking it back when it involves, first of all, a young person. And second of all, I mean, I didn't like the stunt, so this is my short take. I didn't like the stunt.
The stunt, meaning the Lakers game, we're in the thong.
So, like, she goes to the Lakers game in a thong.
Okay.
I didn't appreciate that at all. I mean, and for no other reason than I don't know what you're doing that for. Like, why, unless you want attention. And then she gets the attention, and it happens to it happens to mostly be negative, and then she has a reaction to it. So it's kind of like, I don't know, like, you misjudged the response to this bold idea. She misjudged the response to her bold idea. It went wrong, and she didn't like it. So, and I didn't like the stunt. I wasn't impressed with it. But I also don't have a really big opinion about it. I mean, it's just kind of like, I wouldn't do it. I don't know what the hell you did it for, and probably what you did it for, you didn't get what you wanted out of it. I have not spent a lot of time with her.
Wait, say it again?
I was just gonna say I have not spent a lot of time with her music, so I don't have a legit opinion about how I feel about her music.
She's a feminist.
She plays the flute, and I play the flute, so I like that. But otherwise,
she's a feminist.
Listen to her song.
She's a feminist. She, obviously a big body girl. That she wants to, make people feel comfortable with that. I guess that's probably her thing. I mean, but
and here's the thing. I will say this thing about. I remember how Monique spent years, like, in her act, attaching herself to this persona of being big, right? So she always had these jokes about skinny bitches, all of that. Like, she used to run that. And now I'm watching Instagram videos of Monique working out with a trainer. And so I remember as I was watching her roast skinny bitches for years, thinking to myself, it's going to be really odd one day when she decides that she doesn't want to be big anymore, and how, like, that's going to be a whole shift in act, a whole shift in perspective. She's going to have to explain this to people. And I am going to say the same thing about Lizzo. It's hard when you build in your brand, which everybody's obsessed with being a brand. Like, it's hard when you build in your brand to something that is so fluid, like something you might change your mind on about any day, or the doctor somehow, or you mess up your knee or whatever causes you to say, you know, I want to lose weight now. Then how do you make that shift? I'm always very intrigued by that. Like, by the people who build their brand around being married and black love, and then you got to divorce this joker. Like, what are you going to do? So if you needed a non-PR Rosalyn answer, that's my only non-PR part, which is really, that's my most authentic answer, which is to say I'm always so interested in seeing how people who spend a lot of time selling a version of themselves, which should be very fluid, how they're going to respond when they can no longer sell that. Am I the only person on this call that remembers when Monique was talking about skinny bitches all the time?
No, I remember that. I remember that.
Like, that was her whole, that was a whole thing.
That was all
about, like, most of her acts would be that. Like, that was a bunch of her shit. And now we're rooting for Monique on exercise videos. Like, yeah, girl, get it. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but it's a hard turn, boy. Like, it's a hard turn to make, like, talking bad about a thing that you end up being. So I'll just watch Lizzo for a little while longer to see how this, you know, certainly she's done a lot. She's had ballerinas who don't have the typical ballerina shape to come on, and I'm all for that. But just as far as her personal thing, like, I'm gonna be a big girl and I'm gonna show y'all it doesn't matter. What if she decides one day she wants to be a small girl? How's that gonna work out for her? And scene. I'm done. Okay. Gee, what? Gee, now, do you feel better, or are you still talking bad about me, or what?
I'm gonna talk bad about you forever.
No.
Doesn't matter what you said.
Oh man.
By the way, Roz, you finally got to meet our boy Ray Moraldi 2 weeks ago. That was awesome.
I did, man. Listen, shout out to Ray Ray.
That's my guy.
And it's so dope that I got to meet Ray Ray before. Well, I mean, it's hard to say it's dope, but it is, because it made me value the fact that we met in person for real even more once we lost Kobe, because I'm like, so many of you guys, and you now, I thought, like, y'all are like my for real straight up friends, because we talk all the time now.
That's true.
In my mind. And so, you know, again, it's just the value of being able to connect with someone in person in real life before, you know, we lose each other. So I was so happy that sort of capped off the importance of needing to connect in real life and in person. Because Ray Ray is dope. Great time over coffee, laugh, talk. We were like the highlight of the coffee shop we were in. People were asking us questions like, yeah, I mean, where do y'all live? I mean, it was so amazing. So shout out to Ray Ray. Ray Ray is fundamental. The no look past.
Well, it's been a while since on the show. He's bringing it back soon, he said, but it's taking his time. Now, he was on the show actually a couple weeks ago on this show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so that probably was right around the time, because it was about 2 weeks ago that I was out in L.A.
We talked wrestling and basketball.
Before we get off football, like, I meant to catch you before you turned it. Did either one of y'all watch the Michael Vick?
No, I will watch it tonight. I'm watching it tonight.
Oh.
I can care less about anything having to do. I can care less. Michael Vick is like the most overrated and most over. I can't stand. It has nothing to do with the dog thing. The dog thing has made me hate him as a human being. But like as a football player, I thought he was such trash. And I just think people fell in love with the Madden game. People fell in love with the fact he could run. That dude threw the ball like complete trash. He was
so
fucking
inefficient.
loser.
He was inefficient. He was
He was
the ball.
so garbage. He was the most garbage quarterback in the NFL for a period of time.
Not
Like,
that far.
it was just trash. Like I never found the. And you know what's funny? You can't say anything bad about Michael Vick and not upset black people. It's like why do you guys get so upset about people trashing? Michael Vick was trash.
What?
Gee, we go into automatic defense mode.
Gee, why are you?
people-
He's one pendulum to the next. There's no middle for G. It's either one pendulum or the next pendulum.
Nah, he's trash, man. He was the most
Can I say
overhyped player.
he's very talented? No. He was very talented, but I think I'm with G to some degree. Not that the trash part, but he was a little overrated.
Oh my!
Dude,
See, I don't know if I don't.
You know, he's the only NFL quarterback to get 3 max deals. It's insane.
Listen, I don't know if I don't know if I ever considered him being overrated. I thought he had a really good arm. It wasn't always very accurate.
No, he had
But
a
I thought
cannon.
he had a strong arm. Yeah, he had a really strong arm, and he could run, and I appreciated him being such a big deal at the time. But even watching I've only seen the first part of the doc. I think the second part came on sometime this week or it's come on tonight. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But even I didn't realize, and that also is like right in, our time period as well, like right in our generation. Even I didn't realize like just how big of a deal he was. Like meaning, I knew he was a big deal, but I'm saying like I didn't realize. I knew he was a big deal to me, and I knew he was a big deal to a lot of black folks. But I didn't realize like the for real hype machine behind him. Like I didn't know it was that significant when he was coming out of Virginia Tech. I didn't know it was that big of a deal, quite frankly, even when he got into the league. I know he was one to watch and all of that, but I didn't realize there was so much hype around him.
Bottom line, Roz.
You know what it was?
Go ahead.
He gave hope. He gave hope to people who could run fast and couldn't throw a football and save their life. That's what it was.
He could throw. Like he had a really good arm.
He had a cannon. He was not efficient.
No,
yeah,
he was not efficient.
I mean, Jamarcus Russell had a cannon too.
Not efficient. Russell
Listen,
Wilson.
I just don't understand. I just don't understand the level.
He wasn't efficient because he didn't. He even conceded in the doc that he did not pay. He didn't study enough. He didn't pay a lot of attention. He did not study plays.
He needed mama mentality when at that time.
He needed something. Like I'll be curious to hear. I really wish you would watch this because I would love to hear you get more upset.
Oh, come on, G, don't be a dick. Just watch it.
There's probably more anger awaiting you if you. There's more anger awaiting you if you watch this doc.
All we know is this.
There's no way I'm wasting time with that.
All we know is this. The greatest black quarterback of all time is the GOAT, Russell Wilson. Period. Discussion. Move on. Period.
Are we saying that? Is that what people are saying?
I'm saying it. Fuck everybody else. I don't follow people. I'm a leader. I'm a
He's the
leader,
greatest black
Rosalyn.
quarterback of all time?
Who's better than him?
He's the greatest black quarterback of all time?
Yeah. Who's better than Russell Wilson?
Warren Moon.
Hell, I would say Steve McNair. I mean,
No. At this point, no. Russell Wilson is.
Dude, you are living in the moment. Warren Moon was
in the
You're out of your
moment.
mind.
Yeah, I mean, come on, like Warren Moon.
Okay.
Steve McNair.
Warren Moon would be the only one I would consider. That's it. Okay.
Warren Moon. Dude, I'll put Randall Cunningham before Russell Wilson. Yo, get out of here.
I would put right. Is Russell Wilson
whatever?
accurate?
Both of you. Whatever.
Is he accurate?
His argument.
I don't know about it. I like him, but I don't know about his accuracy.
Who? Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson's trash.
Are you kidding? Roz, he started all the time.
You know what it is with Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson's weird to me because he's more accurate when he's on the run than it's the weirdest fucking thing.
He gets the job done,
I
dude.
agree.
No. Who gives a shit how he does it? Who gives a shit how he does it, man? He gets it done. Who gives a shit? Come on. Oh, one more thing before we go. Because I got to run. I got 5 minutes. Documentaries. Did you guys see the Aaron Hernandez documentary on Netflix?
Yes.
I finished last week. What do you think?
It was cool. I mean, I thought it was. You know what? I read that whole 6-part thing in the Boston Globe, which I found very much more detailed and with less narrative buzz to it. It was just a straightforward offering of the facts. And so to me, the doc just basically illustrated visually everything that I had learned in the Boston Globe 6-part series. But people had really strong opinions about it, like, they tried to focus too much on him being gay, and they didn't talk enough about they focused too much on CTE. I mean, those were both very significant factors in
CTE is a real thing. I mean, let's not forget about that. I mean, that's a real thing. I mean, why don't people try to
that's a very real thing. It's very possible that CTE made him crazy enough to become a multiple murderer.
What about the gay part?
Or he was just crazy.
All the above, buddy. Could be all the above. I mean,
he was in fact crazy. He had a
I do think they pushed the
Sometimes
gay part.
You see people that don't have a chance, and if you just gave me without football, if you gave me his background without football, I probably would have said, he got a tough road ahead of him because he was abused as a child, and his home life was crazy. Like, he had a lot of trauma as a child, which probably would have in fact made him a crazy person, independent of brain trauma. Add that in, and now we're talking about somebody who for real is crazy.
I do think they try to push the whole gay part as a little much they needed to. Like, they made it a bigger deal, in my opinion. I don't know. I grain of salt on that angle, honestly.
No. Why do people not want to accept? No, EJ, how come y'all, like, now, this to me is a very in the now take. Like, no football player I can't imagine the levels to which a football player, someone who is in a very hyper-masculine job, would go, the lengths that they would go to hide the fact that they actually are gay. And the twisted decision-making that comes with also trying to hide it from people you love. I don't know that you can push that enough, because to me, it's a really big deal when someone is hiding the fact, hiding who they are, especially if they're gay. Like, I almost sort of feel like, and we still don't know, but I almost sort of feel like the murderer, I can't think of his name, God rest his soul, but Odin Lloyd, I feel like he died because he knew something about his sexuality. I sort of think that had a lot to do with his clicking on him and deciding.
I'm not saying it couldn't be so. I'm just saying I'd say docs are great at salt these days. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
G, your thoughts? Did you did you watch it?
I ain't watching it.
Oh God. Okay, we're done. Okay, see.
Yeah. You know what I think is crazy though? How he's this mass murderer. He's whatever. He's all out of his mind. That dude played college with Jesus number 2. He played college with Tim Tebow, and he was the biggest sinner on an NFL field. How do you play football with Jesus 2.0 and kill 8 people in your life? Like, it makes no sense.
If Tebow couldn't save you, if Tebow couldn't save you, he was done for. He was done for.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like story's over. If people couldn't help him, then he had no chance.
Anyway, before we get going, anything you want to plug, Roz?
No.
Wow. G?
Nah, just rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, man.
Yeah.
Man, rest in peace, Kobe.
Yeah, I'm with
Jesus.
you. Hey, after a couple months of doing the show for a couple months, we're back on schedule again. I'm proud
that
of you.
makes me very happy.
Huh?
We can't become famous if we're not doing it regularly.
I mean, who knows? Because after Rosalyn Ross's Instagram bikini pics leak online, like, who knows? She didn't get so many phone calls now and stuff.
Before we get going, I've got to do this edition of the Rosalyn Thirst Threads. Let's see. Where's there a hot Rosalyn? Oh, there it is.
What happened?
Hold on. Hot picture of Rosalyn Ross. Wait, did you turn off the... Oh, never mind. Fast Black 68 says fire. I'm going through.
God.
Okay,
we're not reading my comment. Look, a whole article now has come out about me flaunting my bikini pics, so
hey, whoever this guy is, Everett S. Anderson says, "Oh, okay."
Oh, okay.
You're the worst.
And I'm not.
No,
that's why I went ahead and sent that article to y'all first, so I can get all the
Daniel Trowick, my friend. Daniel Trowick says, "Dope sauce, Roz."
Yeah. Stop it.
Listen.
Stop it.
Look, you know we keep it real. Me and G keep it real with you.
I know. That's why y'all are my friends.
Yeah, that's right. You may go Hollywood, but we're gonna keep you grounded, girl.
Yeah.
Let's do a podcast. Let's do a podcast 2 weeks. I don't know, maybe.
Well, let's see. If you can get your kids to sleep early enough, we'll do
Well,
it.
he's been awake the last like
Yeah,
20
what the
minutes.
fuck, man?
Well, because I was late today. You guys mad until late.
Actually gotta go pick up my kid now.
Oh, nice. All right, guys. We'll talk soon.
All right, talk soon.
Later.
Bye.